This site is over 2,500 years old. It was once a place of burial, ceremony and remembrance. Now it's remembered as nothing more than a hollow ditch in the ground.
Eroded by weather and robbed by time, Jackson's Barrow lies on the ridge between Castleshaw, Delph and Diggle. A faint remnant of an age when thousands of barrows rose across ancient Britain, markers of ritual, memory, and the people who lived and died on these hills. But today, it survives only as a shallow hollow in the grass, a place you could walk past without ever realising what once stood there. Another thread of Saddleworth's ancient history, worn thin, hidden, and nearly lost. And it makes me wonder, how many stories have already slipped away? How many traces of the past have faded from our memory without anyone noticing? I'm trying to find what fragments remain, to piece together what still lingers in the hills, before the land forgets.
You can see the sun rising just behind me now, and it would have been quite spectacular back when this site was built to have seen the sun rising in the morning and, you know, casting the mound with light. Our burial mounds were built with intention. The places were very specific where they were built, and they were built for leaders, people of importance, you know, people worthy of remembrance. And this site would have been significantly important and special to the community. It was partially excavated in the 70s, and I think from what I've been able to find, probably just like a quarter of it was excavated. So there's still quite a bit of work that could be done here. But I think what's quite sad is, if we look at it today, you know, you could easily walk past this and think of it as nothing but a ditch. We're here, you know, at this early December, with the heavy rain. It's just filled up with water, and it's nothing more than a shallow pool. What I find fascinating with Jackson's Barrow isn't so much what we can see, but it's about what it says. I've spent quite a while looking into Saddleworth's ancient history, and trying to find evidence of these lost sites. There are 3 known mounds in Saddleworth, this being one of them, another one at Brown Hill and another one at Hilltop. But I think what this highlights is the risk that these sites face. Now, over the centuries longer that's passed, you know, the weather would have torn away at this site. The rain would have softened the mud, the wind would have shredded the grass, and over time, you know, what was a mound of earth is just slowly eroded year after year until it's left to what it is now. So if this has happened to the sites that we do know about, it just poses the question, what's happened to these sites that we don't know? And it's very possible that if there are any sites remaining in Saddleworth, that they remain in very much the same condition as this one. You know, perhaps we've passed them numerous times and just assumed it to be another ditch in the earth. But it's quite sad, really, and it just shows the risk that these sites face and how we are in danger of losing things, a history that we know very little about. It's for me, a fascinating point in time where so much happens. Like, humanity kind of goes through this learning phase where they're learning new skills, they're learning new ways to build, to worship, and to bury, and to know that we are at a risk of losing it. it's quite sad. And I don't know if doing these videos and this work will help uncover anything or help do anything, but for me, it's just a case of trying to find out more about the place I grew up in and trying to find that part of history that, you know, especially here in Saddleworth, very little of it remains.